Hey Sagittarius, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your first half of December general reading here. So, what a meditation. I was in a dark parking lot and I was standing in front of this kind of, it was like it was in like a shopping center, right? There was this building and it had in all neon letters, it was dark though, like nobody was in, the lights were off. In neon letters, it said playground. And I'm looking at this like big, neon sign that says playground. Like it was like where kids would go to play with those little plastic balls and stuff. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at it. And then I saw the letters start to die out from the end. So like the D went and the N went and it changed from playground to play grow. So the sign said playground to play grow. Really interesting. I never really thought about that word like in that sense, but playground, that aspect of, grounding through playground. This is where we play versus play, grow. I got the sense, and I'll let you in on more of the meditation in a moment, but I got the sense from this that there's this idea of working hard, right? We work hard, we go to work, we focus on it, we do it like our bills and lives depend on it. What if we were to play in the same manner? And I don't mean play, in terms of like, just like, removing ourselves from all life and just kind of like zoning out or numbing, whatever. There's this concept or idea behind the term like play hard that if you think about it within certain cultures denotes, it conjures images of like, like just no shade, no judgment, but just like, a lot of drink, a lot of things that you can do to numb yourself, really partying hard and like, being so tired at the end of it that you need a vacation from your vacation kind of energy. But this leads me to the rest of the meditation. So once I saw play grow, I then saw this huge like water tank that had been unleashed. And I noticed it was like being unleashed at me in this parking lot, me being the Sagittarius collective, representing you. So I saw this water like at my feet. It was like, and then suddenly I heard this like siren song and there was this mermaid. And I heard that song from the Harry Potter Goblet of Fire where it's like, come and seek us where our voices sound. You can't hear us on the ground. That, and then I saw the water kind of lead me towards this siren or this mermaid that was on this rock. And I suddenly found myself in very much the landscape of the Little Mermaid, but specifically her cave. So in her cave where Ariel collected all of her treasures and trinkets and tokens, that was her safe space, right? It was sacred, it was private, it was filled with things that made her happy and stimulated her mind. That was her safe space. And it was a place where she went to play, right? And play grow, if you will. So what I get from this is that this time period for you, especially because, by the way, I would be remiss in saying, happy birthday season, continuation of your birthday season, by the way. There is something around this that's kind of hearkening to, what if playing from the context of growing, right? So not playing to ground ourselves and then it's over, but playing to grow, allowing yourself the time and space to be in a place where you are able to, get to where you're going and engaging in sort of that inner work from a place of play. It's the equivalent, it feels like, of taking the time out to really do so in a way that is not numbed out, but a way that is actively engaged, right? Is just as important or pivotal to your success and your path ahead as the traditional term of like what working is. What if you were to commit to that sense of play growth like you would your job or your career? I feel like there is some big answers and ideas, and I feel like a little light bulb with ideas like bing, 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 that comes from a place of play. By playing, there will be growth. Play, grow. Really interesting, but it feels really exciting as well. It feels really exciting. When you are playing, when you are in a place where you are relaxed in a safe space and your mind is stimulated, but you're surrounded by things that you love, you are able to have ideas and think of solutions and create potentials within your mind that you don't necessarily have access to when you're on a time constraint or really trying to figure something out. You set the scene and create, the good amount of time and space for your mind just to play and wander and see where it ends up and where it wants to, serve as those light bulb moments for you, right? I have shivers. It feels really important. It feels like by you gifting yourself this, it's going to lead you to some pretty transformational insights, epiphanies, ideas, and potentials. Feels very, very exciting. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Sagittarius, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of December. First half of December, animal energy for Sagittarius. Oh, I mean, when it's on the nose, it's on the eye. Okay. I don't know what that means. So we got the dragon energy here. This couldn't be better. First of all, dragons breathe what? Fire. You are fire signs. We were just talking about transformation, and then we have the dragon come up here. It's so perfect. So dragon equates most closely to that of the justice key in the tarot, which is about everything being fair, balanced, whole, exactly as it's meant to be, from the lens of, divine forces that are outside of your, technical control, right? So there's a certain release and a certain, a sense of relief, really, going, okay, I can only do what I can do, and everything is going to work out because it's not all up to me. So I can just do the best that I can do and trust that everything is going to align, right? Now, dragon medicine speaks of, it's that eye, it's all about the eye, right? It's that third eye realness where we're able to see ourselves and others within a lens of truth, absolute truth, right? It's that aspect of like justice is blind, right? So it's like there's an aspect of like no mercy here. It's like what is true, what is fair, and that's it, and there's no gray area. It's very like a black and white, feeling around it. But why I love dragon energy so much is because it is this energy of, being encouraged to look at ourselves and the role that we play in our situation and our circumstances. And it's another way of saying our external circumstances reflect our inner state. So if you are looking around at your external circumstances, whether it's your work, your personal life, your living situation, your health, your whatever it is, right? Really think about the areas or the ways in which you wish it were different or that displease you or that you're dissatisfied with. I'm feeling a bit of Four of Cups energy, which is feeling a certain dissatisfaction with things. And then look at your inner landscape and check your thoughts. Check your thought forms, check your feelings, right? And then really do the work of realizing like, what aspects of this are in my control? How can I pivot my thoughts around how I'm experiencing things so that not that I can change everything that I don't love, but I do have control over how I perceive it and my attitude towards it, because thoughts really are things. So it's not about walking through the world as Pollyanna and just going, oh, everything is sunny and great all of the time, I'm a robot. It's not like that, but it's just going like, let's just like take accountability and realize that I do co-create, a certain amount of my my reality. And so let me take a responsibility for that and then ask myself some questions that might lead to some sort of clarity or comfort within myself, and just remind myself that there's some things that I can't control, but there's plenty that I can. And what I can usually has to do with me, right? Dragon energy. It's a bit of tough love, but it's one of my absolute favorites, really, because it's always true, it's always absolute, and it's non-ambiguous as well, which is nice. Also, with that aspect of play as well, it's really interesting that this is coming up in that way. Also, another, I'm using quotes, mythical creature, because I truly believe that dragons are real, just in energy form, with the mermaid and the dragon here as well. And that circle there denotes that of spirit. So that's also coming into say, also with the major arcana energy, that there are aspects of your circumstance right now that are just fated, destined, and there's a greater divine timing happening, right? Let's see what's going on. Whoa, Did you see how it just wow. Queen of Wands coming up as the Queen of Wands, you gorgeous fire signs. I love this for you. Look at her little poodle. Little poodle. Now, I am really drawn to the mouse. Actually, I don't know if that's a rat or a mouse, but I'm calling it a mouse. This is brilliant. Queen of Wands is all about confidence, purpose, passion, leadership. She's queen of the home and hearth. Her home may not be perfect, but it's hers, so she loves it and treats it well, right? Which is interesting with Ariel's cave and the Little Mermaid, her safe space. She's the queen of the safe space and creating a home that feels like that for her. So it's fascinating here. It's a little morose with like the murder with the cut throat and the eye and everything. But hey, look, she's got her throat slit and she's got a bleeding eye. But hey, she's still walking the dog. She's still feeling herself. She's making the best of it. I feel like there's something in that for you, as morose as it is. So the mouse is what I really am called to talk about in this. Now, mouse it's interesting. I'm just going to relate these two. In shamanic work, so there's this aspect of traveling, downwards, underground, into the lower world, right? So within those energies, dragon and mouse are two of the energies that you find during shamanic work quite a bit, because dragon is deeply connected to that aspect of the shadow and then transformation of magic. But then also the mouse is able to get in and out of places very well and be unseen. So it's able to travel really well, right? Energetically or whatever, but actually physical life as well. So the mouse gifts us with perspective. The mouse allows us to see that we really have more choices and autonomy than it feels like sometimes when things get really big or intense, right? So it goes, take me with you and allow me to point out things that you may not see otherwise if you weren't to come down to my perspective. Think about it. That mouse is going to see things very differently than this woman is here, or even this poodle is here, right? Look at how it's like looking down beneath it, right? And then the poodle is here, and then she's looking here, and then the eye and the throat. I feel like there's something around is calling your focus and calling for your attention. And again, it's that sense of like that play growth, right? How can you adjust your vision, open it up, and align with potentials and possibilities that are only going to come through to you from a place of, timeless, availability, I want to say, because that's what play is. It's when you're available, right? When you're working, you are not available. I mean, you're available to your boss, the work that you're doing. But when you're playing, when you are in your safe space, when you are creating that vortex time for yourself, you are available and open to ideas and inspiration, right? Interesting. Hello. So we have the Hierophant here, really brilliant. So the Hierophant, number 5 is the number of change. The Hierophant is an interesting one because this is Taurus energy, right? But traditionally speaking, the Hierophant is about tradition. It's marriage. It's things being exactly as they're meant to be within the lens of tradition. And this is how things have always been done. Now let's talk about that. A lot of people have, strong feelings about the Hierophant because it does represent, the patriarchy and these rigid systems. And, it's very like anti-Aquarian age energy. But I'm going to tell you why I love the Hierophant, because whenever the Hierophant has come up for me or in a reading over the years, it's always a symbol that everything is going to work out exactly as it's meant to. Similar to the Justice key, which the dragon is representing, right? There's similar energies. If you notice on the Justice key, the Lady Justice is wearing a red robe. On the Hierophant key, the Hierophant is also wearing a red robe. Also, the Emperor wears a red robe, and so on and so forth. So it's that energy of, that authority point where it's like, you can't mess it up. You're not on the wrong path. You're exactly where you're meant to be, and everything is going to work out as it's meant to. I find great comfort in that. I hope you do too. Also interesting with the Hierophant here as well, like as it's depicted here with the, mummy, it's Edgar Allan Poe land. I mean, I love it with the pyramid here in the Egypt, we can look at this and say like this is like, you know, like a tomb above the ground. It's like this coffin, the mummification. It's interesting because I'm going back to that Ariel, you know, cave underwater and the sirens and the mermaid song. And it's just, I feel like this is symbolic of you, because why would they wrap bodies? It would be to preserve them, right? And I feel like there's an aspect of you that could really use some TLC and kind of preserve those aspects of you that have either been working too hard or just really feeling the weight of the world in some sort of way. And this is, it's funny, but what I'm getting from this is like, this isn't a mummy. No, 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 no. This is a moisturizing wrap. This is to keep all the moisture in, and this is like the time that I'm dedicating to my self-care, and when it's time for these bandages to come off, I'm gonna be glowy. Right? There's something in that where it just feels like that for you. But it feels like this is something that you're being called to do with and for yourself. Nobody's gonna come along and be like, hey, like, you know, have created this like opportunity and space for you to go in and like play, grow, and like really, you know, that seated to how your internal state is in comparison to your external state. Like, no, this is something that needs to happen with and for yourself, right? But that siren song, you know, the stories of the sirens, it was something that you couldn't resist. I do feel like you're being called to do something like this. So don't fight the call is what I'm hearing, right? Don't be afraid to cocoon as needed, because it just feels like it's going to lead to your greater wellness. Ace of Cups, hello, goodbye. I'm so here for it. This is like the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. The Ace of Cups is just a lot of wonderful, brilliant, clear, intuitive information, right? Under that full moon. We've also got the Ace of Cups representing self-care. And I was feeling that with the Hierophant. Self-love, self-care. You know, whenever this comes up, we say we have to fill up our own cups before we can offer it to anybody else. You are being asked to fill up your own cup. This cup is also in the ocean, and you can't see it, but there's a siren over there in the background with the cave going, come in here. All your favorite things are here. All limitless time is here. You know, your beautiful seaweed moisturizing wrap is here. Just follow this sound, right? It really feels that way, but trust the pull, trust the call, because there's something in it that is like you're going to get to where you're going in some sort of, you know, it feels like a little bit easier, like in an easier way or a more gentle way, if you take this time to really go within whatever your equivalent of your own safe space is and really see to yourself, because it feels like maybe your focus hasn't been there. You've either been working really hard or dealing with a lot of external conflict or just a lot going on, a lot of things to do. I'm seeing like a checklist. Like, okay, this is on the checklist, this is on the checklist, this is a to-do list. And I'm seeing that page turn and go to like a blank page. And if you had a to-do list that was blank, then you could doodle on it. See where your mind wants to go. See what you feel, right? It feels incredibly important. And I feel like the greater purpose of this as well is a realignment of your internal state, so you can go forward and manifest things, you know, in your internal circumstances that are more aligned to your soul and what you actually desire. It feels like you might have been deferring to either other people or other circumstances in your life that are not prioritizing your own wellness. And I feel like Spirit is coming up to say, trust me, you want to do this now, because if we ignore, you know, feelings like this and feeling that call to do something like this, it ends up happening anyway, but it ends up as us getting sick or something, for example, and then we're like on our, you know, butt in beds, and it's like, oh, I really would have rather done this from a place of feeling good, but okay, I'm the mummy now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, enclosed in my bed chamber. So just a heads up around that. So let's go ahead and get some advice. Advice for Sagittarius. It's also your birthday season as well, so and going into the holiday season, so it's a brilliant time. Oh, it's perfect as it always is. Page of Cups. I love that this is your advice because it's so perfect. So first of all, that is a seal there, which is a really, really beautiful energy around playing. So Page of Cups, you know, this is all about being in the moment. Page of Cups energy is that childlike energy, that water energy of I'm exactly where I am in the given moment. And when I am in the given moment fully, I'm able to notice more around me and get more out of where I am. It's the present. It's the gift of the present, right? So the story behind this keen as it's depicted here is if you were walking along this beach, right, and you were fully in the present moment, you would turn and see something that is not necessarily like, out in front. This is really obvious, the cup. You might see the cup, but would you see the seal if you weren't really in the given moment? If you're walking along this beach and on your phone or thinking about all the things that you need to do or what isn't going well, you would never see the seal. But a child bumbling along this beach with nowhere to go in particular is definitely going to see that seal. Have you ever noticed that? Kids are always just like, look at this, look, because they're open and available and present. So they see things that adults don't see, right? It's back to that mouse energy over here, right? I'm also getting from this as well, like this Queen of Wands that you're showing up here in this way with the mouse and the slit throat I do feel like your confidence has taken a knock in some way. And I don't know if it's going to be different for different people, but it could be directly related to your ability to really manifest what you desire or be where you want to be. And the best way to regain that sense of confidence, right? Go within and take the time. Right? Rebuild that confidence. Get your Ace of Cups. We have another cup here, the Page of Cups. So again, when this is your advice, this is really about fully embodying the present moment. Don't put a time on it. Give yourself the gift of just being from a place of play, enjoyment, and full availability. Because full availability yields greater rewards and dividends, I guess, than not, right? It's really beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. The Page of Cups as well speaks of, engaging in things that you love, where you look up and the time really flies. Any creative projects or pastimes, if you make things, if you ever wanted to do like an Etsy shop or write a book or write a knot, whatever it is, there's a lot of good energy around that for you. And I feel like if you take some time to be creatively and emotionally openly available, there's an opportunity to take some of those things that you love to do and monetize them. But the trick is, don't go about it from a place of, I'm going to monetize this. It's something that will come naturally. I'm seeing the image of like a Hallmark movie. There was this one I love Hallmark movies. There was this one Hallmark movie where there's like this trope of like this woman who just bakes the most delicious cupcakes in the world, but she never thought of selling them at the local bookshop. And then someone comes along, a city slicker, and goes, why, these cupcakes are amazing. Have you ever thought of selling them? And she's like, oh no, I just love making them. I just love making the cupcakes. She's like, oh no, we can sell these. And then she starts selling out and then has a cupcake empire. I know it's like really funny, but it's something like that for you, Sagittarius, something that you may not even consider. You're like, no, I just love this. It's like, okay, you love this. Other people will love this too. Put up an Etsy shop. You're going to do really well by it. And it's going to give you, less time at the job you don't like and more time doing what you like. It's something like that. If it's not literally that, it's something like that. I have shivvies all over my body talking about this. There's an opportunity there that is going to be gifted to you through play or through enjoyment, doing things that you really enjoy, where you look up and just time has just flown by. Okay, let's get an oracle. Oh, I'm feeling like this one. Feeling like this one. I literally cannot, but I will. The Ice Queen, ideas preserved, non-action entitlement. How brilliant is this? We got the owl energy here, which is similar to that dragon's eye of clear sight because it's high priestess energy. It's so, so good. See how she's sleeping in the ice preserved like the mummy? Stillness, availability, insight, clairvoyance. It's really beautiful. Ideas preserved. It feels like what we were just talking about. There's something within you or around you that is going to come through as like something that's very exciting that you can either monetize or that is going to enrich your life. And I feel like your joy, your enjoyment of life in a really big way. I feel like if you take the time to just be where you are and be open, you know, she's sleeping and we are open when we're sleeping. We have a direct line to our subconscious when we're sleeping, right? So pay attention to your dreams as well. I like that we're looking at a winter landscape as well, because in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the winter landscape, right? So, but we also have the Southern Hemisphere coming through with the summer energy here as well, which I really like. So it's really beautiful. The ideas preserve non-action entitlement. You know, I really feel like there's an aspect of this where it just says, like, you know, you not only have the right to take this time and really cocoon yourself from a place of play and openness, but there's also, you know, this idea of, do I deserve to take this time? Can I take this time? Or should I really be doing this or working or focusing on this problem? But sometimes doing less gets you to where you're going a lot more quickly, and you arrive somewhere that is better than you ever could have imagined. Okay? Really beautiful Sagittarius. I'm sending you so many blessings for your first half of December. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to, you know, hear from you, how you're doing, how you're spending your birthday season. And also another announcement, I am offering the 2023 year ahead personal readings. And like I did last year, I have some availability left. So the link to sign up for one of those is in the description box below. Once they're gone though. I think I have like a few left. So if you want to grab one of those spots, I welcome you to do so. And with that being said, just thank you so much. Thank you as always for being here. And most of all, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.